Hello, everyone, and welcome to the judge training. I am Coach Raul. I'm actually one of the co-directors for our program. And I want to start off by just thanking everybody for volunteering to judge. You can't even imagine how valuable it is to have you on board. And we really, really appreciate you. We really couldn't do it without you. The students gain a lot from it, and it really helps because, this is a direct reflection of their community on their performances. And it's so invaluable for you to be here. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for judging. So now let's get into it. How do you judge a round? We're going to dive into it, what to expect for this specific tournament, and then some general things to look for. If you do find yourself judging in the future again, these will be good things to keep in mind. So first of all, let's go over registering to judge. So you might have registered on a Google form already. You might have registered somewhere else. It might have just been outside of that. That's totally fine. If you do judge tomorrow, though, you will want to create an account on SpeechWire. So SpeechWire access is required in order to judge. That's basically our platform where we run tournaments. It's a beautiful platform for us. It helps us get all the logistics down and everything. And it also helps us document your comments and your rankings for the students. So you will want to create a account on SpeechWire if you don't already have one. We can also create one for you in person. So if you come to us, we'll help you kind of get started and get up and going. But if you already have an account, that's going to help us get you going right away. And if you've judged asynchronously for us, you should already have one. You'll use that same exact account to log in and submit your ballots tomorrow. Sorry, Saturday, the day of the tournament. So you can use your student email, or sorry, just any email, right? To register on SpeechWire. So kind of ignore that point. You can really use any email. And if you've already have one, you're going to keep using that same one. You won't have to make a new one. Okay, let's dive into the next thing here, which is tomorrow, what to expect, or the Saturday, the 24th. It will be at Elise Ford Allen Academy. I've put the address there if you would like to take a screenshot, or you can write it down. That's where we will be. Judge check-in is at 8 a.m. And this is just to make sure that you can check in. You have time to, if you need a set of SpeechWire, we can help you get ready for that. And also we have breakfast. So come and enjoy some coffee and some snacks. So judge check-in will be at 8. You'll come kind of to you'll be in the library. So you have to go to the library. That's where we will be. We'll have desks at the location to make sure that you can kind of be guided to the right place. And you'll come and talk to us. We'll make sure we have your information, and then we'll get you your ballots. We'll probably tell you to hang out just a little bit as we kind of prepare to release all the stuff and get all the students ready. But please make sure you are here at 8 o'clock. We do have some students that have to perform and then leave because they have a sports competition right after that. So having timely judges is going to be really important for those students that do need to perform and then leave right away. It'll be really helpful to get them out as soon as possible since they do have multiple commitments. All right, next we're going to go into the round. So you are sitting there waiting for your ballots. The person announces, hey, everyone, you should have received a ballot. Please check your SpeechWire account or check your email to check your ballots. You'll check and you'll see round one or semifinal round, this event, right? At that point, you are now ready to start judging. You have to go to your room. So we'll tell you what room you'll be in. Your ballot on SpeechWire will have the room location. You'll walk to that room. We'll have maps for you as well, and people guiding and directing to make sure that you get to the right room. Once you confirm you are in the right room and you take a seat, what happens then? We're going to go into it now. So starting the round, you're going to find a seat near the back of the room. The reason I say the back of the room is because it really encourages the students to be as loud as they can, since the judge is all the way in the back. And you also kind of have a bird's eye view of all the students sitting in front of you. So I think the back of the room is the best place as a judge. And also there are outlets back there. So it'll probably be a lot easier to find an outlet. Next, take roll. So on your ballot, you will see a list of students. I would start with, you'll probably see a couple of them sitting down or coming into the room afterwards when their round is starting. They'll start coming in, trickling on in. Once you see that everyone has kind of settled down and found a spot, and there doesn't seem to be more students coming, at that point, I would start taking roll and just start calling out names, right? Make sure they are here and have them stay here. Once you finish taking roll, I want you to welcome the competitors and set expectations. So expectations are things like no talking while others are performing. Please stay seated. We clap when people come up And we also clap when they sit back down, right? So it would kind of be, if I were the judge, it would be something like speaker number 1, Coach Raul. And at that time, while everyone's clapping, Coach Raul, myself, is taking the stage, is walking up. Then I perform, and right after I perform, then you'll say, thank you very much, and everyone claps again. And that's basically each speaker. So, really set that expectation in the beginning by, again, welcoming them. Hey, everyone, welcome to the Mardi Gras tournament. Congratulations on being here. Please make sure, and then you go into those expectations, right? So it's just a simple welcome. It's not too fancy, but it's just something to make it feel like, okay, the round is starting for them. Now, during the round, it's pretty simple. You're going to take notes of each speaker's strengths and weaknesses. So I would say as they're speaking, if you notice something, jot it down, because chances are by the time they finish performing, all of that might be out of your brain at that point, and you'll have to start thinking about the next speaker. So it's really good to be marking that down, and you can even mark it on your device as you are taking notes on the ballot itself, right? So that would be really, really efficient. Next is, once they perform, thank each competitor after they perform, and then call up the next speaker until each speaker goes. There will probably be around 5 to maybe up to 7 or 8 speakers in your room. And yeah, just go until each speaker is seen. Finally, ending the round, thank everyone for performing, and have the group give one big round of applause. That just makes them feel good, and it signals to them that the round is over, right? It's coming to an end. After that, you'll dismiss the students. You're going to remind them to just head back to their teachers or their area with their group. It's very important. Some students like to kind of wander off, so it's really good for the judges to remind them, please head back straight to your teacher, straight to the cafeteria to meet your group again. That way they just have that verbal reminder. It, kind of gets them in that mindset of like, we have people watching that want you to get to your area. Cool. And then lastly, complete your ballot rankings and your comments, right? Once everyone's gone, at that point, it's your time to now complete your ballot. You want to keep in mind, if you are running short on time, or maybe we're like asking you like, hey, we need you to complete your ballot as fast as possible. One thing to keep in mind is that you can submit your ranks. You can rank every student and give them the speaker points that you're going to give them, and you can click submit ballot. And then afterwards, you can go back into the ballot and mark all your comments down. And you can literally take your time with that you have a lot of time. If you try to get all your comments before you submit your ballots or your rankings, chances are, unless, maybe you went really fast and you finished it, but chances are we'll hunt you down and be like, hey, we have to have you submit your ballot as soon as possible. And we'll probably give you this reminder again, like you can submit your rankings and then go back and edit your comments afterwards to leave them all the comments you want to leave them. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next section here, which is filling out a ballot. How do we fill out a ballot, right? Right here, we have an example, a picture of a ballot. As you can see, right, we have second place got 26 points. Third place got 24 points. Fourth place got 23 points, right? Fifth place got 22 points. As you can see, right, each rank, you're getting less and less speaker points, right? It just makes sense that the person that ranked number 1 should have the most speaker points in that round. The person that ranked the lowest should have the lowest number of speaker points in that round. And this will be exactly how it looks on your ballot in SpeechWire. Rankings are 1st through 6th, or like I said, 1st through 8th, if you have 8 students in your round. First place is usually the strongest in the round. 6th place needs more improvements in the round, right? That's how you want to just make sure you, right? 1st and 6th. And then for speaker points, I would say the range is between 25 and 15. 25 is the highest number of speaker points you can give a speaker. 25 would be perfect. You would not want them to change anything. That was the most stellar speech you've ever really seen. 15, they need significant improvement, right? What I like to do is I like to start with my number 1 ranking, either 25, 24. Rarely will I give like a 23 or 22. Maybe they really still need improvement, but they were the best in the round. I'll give them a 23, right? But I start with the top score and give them my points. And then every rank under that, I kind of give them a point less, right? So then first place would be 24. Second place would be 23. Third place would be 22, right? It usually works out that way. If you feel like there's a big difference between two speakers and you don't want to go just 1 point lower, but 2 points lower, that's totally fine. That is up to your discretion. This is just an example of how it could look. Again, highest speaker points and highest rankings must match. Again, first place, highest speaker points. Sixth place, lowest speaker points. And again, they're out of 25. So 25 is the most. I would say 15 is the least because you usually don't get that low. Another thing to keep in mind, well, actually, not another thing to keep in mind, that 25 is very important. Sometimes some judges will accidentally give 20, or they won't give kind of a high amount, and that will hurt the student in terms of their ranking because their ranks are calculated with their speaker points in mind. So please make sure you are giving an accurate speaker points. You can always check in with us before you submit your ballot just to make sure that you have it correctly. All right, let's keep it going here. Go to the next slide here. So what to look for in the performances. We've kind of just broken it up between verbal skills and nonverbal skills. Their verbal skills, you're going to look for tone. Are they saying the line with the right emotion? If the character is mad, do they sound mad, right? Character voices, if any. If their speech is more informative and it's giving you information and persuading you for a message, or maybe it's just very inspirational, they do not have to have characters. But if their speech does have different characters that are talking to each other, then you kind of do want to have, or they want to have, some character voices to make it entertaining. And so if you are judging an event that requires characters, you can look for that and see if they've made an effort to make their characters different. You want to look at their volume. Can you hear them? Enunciation. Do they sound like they're mumbling or do they sound clear? Inflection and pitch. Did that question sound like a question or was it more of a statement? And speed. You don't want them to be going too fast, but you also don't want them to be going too slow, right? Please make sure that even if a student is going and maybe they've gone over their time limit that you think they should be going, please never stop a student or say, okay, you can stop there. Please let them finish their full speech before having them sit down. And that's just, it came up because a student got cut off last time, and so we want to make sure we avoid that. Nonverbals, you're going to look for facial expressions. So are they matching their face to what they're saying? Gestures, gestures are hand gestures. So if I said I bought eggs, milk, and cheese, those are hand gestures. And it's better if I do that than if I just leave my hands down by my side. Body and posture. Are they slouched over? Is their posture straight and confident? Or do they look a little bit nervous in their posture? Eye contact. Are they making eye contact with the audience? And you do not have to have the student make eye contact the entire time. As long as they're glancing at the audience every now and then, I would give them points for eye contact, or I would say they had some eye contact. They're making an effort, right? So what they'll do essentially is they'll probably, I'm trying to get an example, but they'll be holding their speech. Some of them might be holding their speech and they'll be reading, but every now and then they'll glance up to look at the audience. And that is a good thing, right? So that should definitely be something positive in their comments. And finally, character differentiation. We've gone over that already. Just make sure if they have characters, that they're different. Okay, we're nearing towards the end here. We're just going to go over productive feedback. So productive feedback, you're going to pair constructive feedback with positive feedback. So positive comment plus a constructive comment, right? So something you are doing well plus something to work on, right? So my favorite part was this, and it was hard to hear or understand this thing, right? So it's going to always make sure you kind of pair that positive comment with a constructive comment. Next, before your rounds, keep in mind that you have to have technology at this tournament, whether it be your phone, your laptop, some kind of device, but find a quiet place and have your technology charged and ready to go. You're going to check into the judges' room 30 minutes before each round, right? 30 minutes before each round is slated. Just check in with us or make sure that you are in the judges' room hanging out because we'll be making announcements in that room. Also, check your email and SpeechWire account to see if you have a ballot for that round. So you're going to check your email and your SpeechWire account to see if you do have a ballot. Since you're going to be in person, we're probably going to tell you you do have a ballot. And so to check it right then and there. All right. And if you have questions before or after your round, you can always ask anybody in the judges' room for help. All right, some couple things to keep in mind. I don't want to skip over that. Do not share your time or your notes with the competitors. Don't give them any feedback. Just thank them for their performance and let them, leave the round feeling confident, feeling good that they performed. Student attire should not be a deciding factor in your decision. Some students might be better dressed than others. That should factor in 0 into your decision. Next is that noise outside of the speaker's control should not be a deciding factor. If there's people in the hallways and the student gets distracted or they want to restart, that should not be penalized on them. It's just something out of their control. Next, being memorized is a plus for those that are. However, not being memorized should not be penalized. Like I said before, if the student has their paper and they're making an effort to still make eye contact with the audience by glancing up to you every now and then, that is great. That is the effort that we want to see. So they should not be penalized because they weren't fully memorized. They, in fact, should be rewarded because they were making an effort to make eye contact. Now, if somebody is fully memorized, then I would say, it's going to be hard to beat them in that round, right? If I'm not memorized. So that's how you want to view memory, is that it should only be a positive plus for those who did get memorized, and they're probably going to score higher in the round. But those that are not memorized should not be penalized at all. And I would look for if they are still making an effort to make that eye contact, even though they're reading off their paper. Students can go up with their paper if they need to. Finally, keep in mind, the main things we're looking for is energy, effort, and eye contact. And like I said, glancing eye contact is fine, but that energy and that effort should be palpable. You should feel like they've spent time getting excited about the speech and delivering that performance. Also, outside audience members are allowed. Their family members are able to go in and watch them perform. And same rules apply to them, right? No talking during a performer, and to stay seated. Please remind parents or families, if they are in the room, they cannot leave the room until every performer has performed. So even if their student goes, they should not sit down and then leave, everyone leaves and make a big exodus. It should be they have their student perform, their student sits down, and they're there until the end of the whole round. Okay, I think I do have another slide. Let me just, sure. Here we go. Okay. Cool. After your round, so you're going to dismiss the competitors. Just make sure to verbally dismiss all the competitors. You all are free to go. And again, remind them, please, please, please make sure you go straight to your teacher or your group. Do not wander the halls, because that will get you in trouble. And then after that, you're going to check into the judges' room. So wherever you're at, whichever room you're at, you're going to make your way back to the judges' room, and you can finish your ballot there. You can also finish your ballot in the room you're in. Just make sure you submit your ranks as soon as possible, right? That's going to be priority. Please just make sure you submit the ranks as soon as you can, because you can always go back and edit your comments later. All right. And finally, thank you so much for judging. Again, this cannot happen without you all. You all are vital to our program, so we really, really appreciate your time. And we hope it's just as rewarding for you as it is for us on a daily basis. Just to see these students do their thing, it gets me very excited to see them have those moments of success where they feel really good about themselves. So hopefully it's rewarding for you as well. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and we'll see you at the tournament.